This week's show brought to you by Roosters, a fun casual joint. Frank Shoup, Georgetown's big name in cars. The Bluegrass Method, cutting-edge basketball training with Scott County's own Michael Richardson.
Welcome everybody to the Scott County Cardinals News Graphic Lady Cards Coaches Show, episode 6. Are we that far into the regular season? It's crazy. This week is the halfway point. Lady Cards will have 3 games in 4 nights to celebrate that little milestone. We'll get to that in a little bit. First, let's talk about the holiday after Christmas. Back-to-back days, Lady Cards went to the Kemba Classic Holiday Hoop Fest up in Westchester Township, Ohio, a little bit north of Cincinnati. News Graphic was there as well. We went up there both days, and just a good tournament. A lot of teams from that general area, but Scott County was invited. Little relationship between the coaches in the past. They'd run into each other at some other tournaments, and told Coach Shelton, come on up. And first day, well, let's just say it was a distinctly different experience, Thursday and Friday. They played Centerville, Ohio on Thursday. Perfect storm, about as badly as Scott County could play, and about as well as Centerville could play, and the end result was predictable on the scoreboard, 70-33, just ugly, one that you want to just forget about, move on. They had a good meal, got it out of their system, came back Friday, played Bellbrook, Ohio, got behind again 13-2, about 4 minutes of the game, and most of us as the traveling party thought, oh no, here we go again. But then Scott County roared back for the victory over Bellbrook to make the record 11-2 on the season. It was kind of mixed holiday results for Scott County, 3-2 between the 2 tournaments at Lex Cath and up there in Ohio. But good experience, good competition. Saw some different styles of play. Certainly when you go away from home, you don't know what to expect necessarily, and I think they got 2 different types of officiating on the 2 days, so a lot more physical game on Thursday against Centerville than it was against Bellbrook on Friday, but all things considered, a good experience going forward into the first week of 2018, when Scott County will travel to face a team that won at Scott County last year, Madison Central. Now, the Lady Indians were a little different group last season, a lot more senior-oriented, so I think Scott County on paper would be the favorite to win this game. Then they go Friday night to play at Frederick Douglass. That's a team they've already beaten this season in 42nd District play, so that's another good opportunity to keep on the winning track. And then Saturday night, 8 o'clock start, at Franklin County High School. It's the final game of an all-day event there, but it's against the host school. It's against a team that's been to the Sweet 16 and been to the state final the last 2 years. A lot different cast of characters, so maybe again, on paper, using those key famous last words, Scott County should be favored to go in there and get a statement win over Franklin County, but as Coach Shelton likes to say, that's why we play them. And that's why there's nothing to be assumed here. These are going to be 3 tough road assignments this week. And then beyond that, the Lady Cards stay on the road for another week before getting to the Toyota Classic and finally ending this run of bus trips and long, cold nights away from home. But some games that are still winnable despite the travel. It's a test for where they're at. I think Coach Shelton at this point in the season feels like there's some chemistry issues that maybe still need to be worked out. He uses the term outside voices, and you got to always be careful with any team. It's a long season, and any high school team is going to have that. You're dealing with 15, 16, 17-year-old kids and their parents, but I think wins tend to galvanize you, and that last win, they won the final game at Lex Cath, they won the final game in Ohio, and I think that has prepared them for this run into January. We spoke with Coach Shelton about that issue and many others. He was certainly proud of the way the Lady Cards bounced back on Friday up at Lakota West in the Kemba Classic. Let's hear what Coach Shelton had to say about the December Christmas tournaments and the season going forward.
The Lady Cards struggled throughout Thursday afternoon against Centerville, Ohio.
Day one, we got on the bus and had a safe trip up there. They had a safe trip back. The girls had a good meal at Smoky Bones, provided by the tournament. But somewhere in between the bus ride there and the post game, everything went wrong. We just, we didn't shoot the ball well. We didn't defend well. We didn't adjust to the physicality of the game. And Centerville, one coach told me, said he'd never seen them play that well. So, it was a tale of the perfect storm. We didn't play well, they played great. We tend to give teams a little confidence sometimes, and sure enough, it was just, we got took to the woodshed, and there's nothing we could say that, well, we could have done this, could have done that. We tried everything we had, and it just didn't work.
Friday's Bellbrook game started in the same disappointing fashion, but Scott County rallied.
I was like, here we go again. I was like, we've come up here, and Scott County, our program is known, and to go up and lay a goose egg 2 days in a row, it was going to be hard to swallow, because we're a better team than what we played against Centerville. Started the game against Bellbrook, and like you say, 13-2 and 2 timeouts later, and then we kind of settled in. And really, we dug an 11-point hole, come back and took a double-digit lead second half finally, and had a good win. We kind of challenged them at halftime, and even challenged them before the game. We're going to guard our yard, and eventually, there were some occasions we looked really good defensively, and I love offense. I love score. And we've talked. I want to get 80, 90 shots a game, but you're going to do that with good defense. And so our communication improved, which is an ongoing process. The ongoing joke is if I could text them and they could text each other during the game, I'm talking. We would probably set some records on as far as communication skills. But right now, when it comes to opening our mouths, trusting our teammates, we just ain't doing it right now consistently. And I'll say that consistently because there's times where I'm like, man, that is incredible. Let's do it again. And it'll be 3 or 4 plays later, or it'll be a timeout later, or it'll be a halftime later. And I honestly think that they are thinking to themselves that they are talking out there. It's just, I don't hear it. And, I kind of tell them that's the rule of thumb. If I don't hear it, you're not talking. So we're getting better. Man, it was a great bounce back. It was a lot better bus ride home that second day than it was that first day.
Halfway through the regular season, the Lady Cards are still finding their offensive rhythm.
And that's still me. That's still, I'm trying to figure it out. As a staff, we're trying to figure it out. We're trying to we don't want to overcomplicate the game, but at the same time, we got certain lineups where we feel that we have better scoring opportunities in certain positions. And then when we sub, which again, I told them the other day, I don't have a set rotation. I don't always sub this player for this player. I go on my gut. And when that happens, sometimes that rotation you worked on in practice, it don't always happen in the game because, whether I didn't like warm-ups or maybe I just didn't like the matchup defensively. So we're definitely, we're still trying to figure each other out. It's, we're 13 games in, so we have a better idea, but we don't have it figured out yet. So we've definitely, especially as January kind of winds down towards the end, we've got to get into some organized chaos that is expected from us, and the kids are doing a great job. They're practicing hard. It's just we've got to get them in good positions so they can be successful.
3 road games in 4 nights begin a crucial stretch for Scott County.
There are some moments these last couple of weeks over Christmas break where I felt like we need to take a step back. We've got 5 games coming up here in the next 10 days, 11 days. 4 of them are regional games, and then you squeeze a district game right in the middle of that. So it's going to be a big week for us as far as we need to work on our rotations. We need to work on our rebounding. We need to see how far we have come defensively. Offensively, I think we'll be okay. We do have to prepare because we're going to start seeing, teams have watched us enough now, and I'm sure the Boyd County tape, the South Warren tape, the Centerville tape, those 3 tapes, I can only imagine how many times they've been requested because everybody wants to see what did they do. Number 1, to hold us to 33 points at Centerville. Number 2, what did Boyd County do to allow us to have 96 and give up 94? And what did South Warren do where we just flat out just laid an egg? So those 3 tapes, people are going to break down, and we're going to play some really good coaches who are going to have the personnel to give us some fits. So, you know, we're 13 games in. You know, we're still in that B- category. You know, because we are doing some good things. We got to the free throw line a lot in Ohio, and we got, and even the Fifth Third or Republic Bank tournament, we got to the free throw line, and I think we got to the free throw line so much we weren't used to being there. So our free throw percentage went down for some reason. But I like where we are. We just had a team meeting right then, and you know, this team, if we will keep the outside noise out of that locker room and out of this gym, you know, I really like what we could do. There's no guarantees, but we have the personnel. We could do some special things.
Emma Turner and Kiana Christopher bring senior dedication to the team.
Dedication, hard work. You know, Emma and KC both. You know, they come to practice every day to get better, not only themselves but to make their teammates better. And you know, I think the role of those two kids, you know, they continue to come in here and just work. You know, preseason is tough. During the season it's tough. You know, you got so many games, you have so much preparation time, and accepting their roles. I think, you know, Emma missed a couple of days there in practice, and we were all looking around because Emma's the one who brings everybody in and you know, breaks the huddle. And so Emma wasn't there, and we were kind of like looking around going, well, who's going to do it now? Because that's Emma's role. Emma, and she takes great responsibility in that. You know, KC comes in, you know, she'll get a ball stuck, and the next thing you know, she'll come down and put a three, nothing but net in somebody's eye, and just with a big old smile. Love those two seniors to death, and what they mean to our program, because, you know, everybody wants to play. I get it. Everybody wants to start. Everybody wants 20 shots a game. Everybody wants their name in the paper, but, you know, it always don't happen like that. You know, a team is a team for a reason, and everybody has to be willing to accept their roles, and they play just as much into that win as the person who scored 25, because they helped prepare that person who scored 25. And you know, we're very blessed to have a team for right now that's really they're buying into that big puzzle. Each person is a puzzle piece, and we're trying to put this daggone puzzle together.
All right, Coach Shelton, always a lot to say, always a lot to offer. He talk about mixed emotions. He had many of them. We talk after every game, of course, and it's been some highs and lows lately, but I think he's optimistic about the opportunities that the Lady Cards have going into the second half of the season. It's an interesting roster that Scott County has. It's a lot of young players, a lot of talent. Only one senior in the regular starting lineup. A second senior, Zakiah Holt, has joined Peyton Riddle for recent games with Malaya Williams out of the lineup. But two seniors that play a big role in a supporting role, Emma Turner and Kiana Christopher. Two players that, you know, you talk about seniors that don't play more than a few minutes a game, and you're thinking, wow, they could lose interest. Sometimes you see those players drop off and not even come out for their senior year, but they have kept the attitude good. They're strong team leaders. When they get in the game, you see them perform. It's good to talk to them. Let's see what Emma and KC had to say about the season so far.
The players saw teamwork and toughness make a difference in the second Ohio game.
I felt like the first game we just didn't have like our mind set to it, and like the first game we just worked together. It's like, well, the second game we worked together, but the first game it was like we were just shellfish and didn't really care.
Yeah, I thought we did. I thought we worked better as a team in the second one and got more shots up, went to the free throw line more.
As seniors, Turner and Christopher's perspective gives them a good idea where Scott County must improve.
I feel like we need to improve in like communication, and I like that we started to work as a team, and then like when we went to Ohio, we like slowly dropped. So it was like selfish, just everybody be on their own little ship and do this and do that.
I think we're doing really well at this point. We need to improve on our communication skills with each other on the court, and just the unselfishness, rather than focusing on your own game, focusing on everyone else and what you need to do to win as a team, and not just by yourself.
The Lady Cards expect January to be a demanding month, but they feel well prepared.
I feel like we just got to take it day by day and buy in and do what coaches says and just keep our mindset and stay positive.
I'm expecting a lot of competition with the teams we're about to face in Toyota Classic, but we just have to take it day by day, keep working to get ready for that competition.